What's going on, everybody? This is Dylan, Dylan Talks Tone, and today we're doing some acoustic stuff. So, we're doing a little string shootout. I don't think I'm supposed to say shootout on YouTube anymore. It's kind of weird. Anyway, we're doing a little bit of a shootout between coated strings. So, for those of you that have followed the channel for a while, you know I'm not a fan of coated strings at all. But I've found a couple sets that I like, and we've got a new one that just came to the party. So let's talk about it. So, of course, the old standard is the elixir situation, and I'm not really a fan of the old elixir stuff. Just not my thing. But we are going to talk about them anyway because that's what we do here. And so we're gonna put these on a guitar. Well, we're gonna put them on this guitar. And we're gonna try them. We're also going to try the D'Addario XT acoustic strings, which is what is on the guitar right now, actually. We'll get to that in a minute. And then new to the party is the new String Joy Foxwoods. And these are really cool strings that I tried the prototypes of probably about a year ago and really liked them. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these on the guitar, all three of them, and we're going to kind of try them back to back and talk about sound and feel. So first of all, let's talk about coated strings and what they are. Basically, any guitar string, whether it be nickel, bronze, phosphor bronze, aluminum bronze, any of the materials that are common to guitar strings are going to be susceptible to corrosion. And that is for a couple of reasons. One is because of atmospheric conditions, the humidity and that sort of thing. And then also because of our fingers touching the strings. So, and that's going to vary for everybody. That's going to vary for you versus me. But if your hands break down finishes and break down and corrode strings very quickly, you might want to try a coated string to make it last longer on your guitar. They are typically more expensive, but they do last longer. The downside is that when you put a coating on the string, it vibrates differently. So you don't have technically the same sonic qualities that you would have of an uncoated string. So the balance or battle for string manufacturers for a long time has always been, how can we get it thin enough and, to where it doesn't affect the tone of the guitar or the actual sonic qualities of the guitar that you want, but at the same time protects the string from that corrosion and from the atmospheric things that cause corrosion on a guitar. So there's always that balance. And then of course there's the feel. So if you put a coating over a string, it doesn't feel like a guitar string anymore. It feels different. It still feels like a string, but it just feels slicker, and that can be good, that can be bad, depending on your opinion and how you want it to sound. So this is all very subjective, and the tone is going to be very subjective, but we're just going to do a comparison, and I'm going to tell you which ones are my favorite after trying them. I have had a bunch of different coated strings on guitars over the years, and lately I've really been enjoying these D'Addario XTs. They've been pretty awesome. This set has been on this guitar for about 2.5 months, and I can tell already that there is some corrosion happening on the strings, on the wound strings, or on the bare strings, but not on the wound strings. They look pretty good. So let's do this as just kind of a control first. I want to see how much these strings have aged being on this guitar for like 2.5 months since I bought this guitar back from my buddy Doug. I put these strings right on it right away. I will tell you that I run 13 to 56s on all of my acoustic guitars, and I also decided to use the wood guitar instead of the carbon fiber guitar because it's something that more of you are familiar with and there will be less in the comments. So I figured I'd use the wood guitar for this experiment. So first of all, let's play a 2.5-month-old set of D'Addario XTs. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put the brand new XTs on it back to back, and you're going to be able to hear that. Then we'll move through our other sets. So here is the D'Addario XT, only new. Elixirs. This is the String Joy stuff. Okay, so there it is. The D'Addario XT old, D'Addario XT new. Let's talk about that comparison first. Well, first of all, before we get into any of this, let's talk about what really matters in a string review. How long the string lasts is something I can't test for you because you affect your strings differently than I do. I can leave strings on a guitar for a really long time and they don't really ever go bad because my hands don't kill strings. Some people kill strings in one gig. So that right there is going to have to be a subjective thing that you're going to have to try for yourself, your body chemistry, etc. The other thing is tone, because tone is relative to your guitar. We did a huge shootout with strings before, talking about how different guitars need different strings. This guitar actually, before when I did this, ended up with different strings than this guitar did. So that's a thing. Each guitar is different. So you're going to have to try that for yourself as well. So what can we actually talk about with this stuff? Well, there's a few things. First of all, and of course this is a little bit subjective, we're going to talk about feel. So the old XT strings that have been on this guitar for 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that, definitely did not feel brand new like the new ones. I don't know how they sounded. I haven't listened to the files. I'm not going to listen to the files because I want you to hear that without any opinion in it. The coating on the strings didn't feel as slick as it did when it was new. You could definitely tell on an XT that they are coated, but it's not overly intrusive to how you play, if that makes sense. As far as the string tension and how the guitar feels and plays and stuff, they're very, very natural. They feel very natural on the guitar, but you can still tell they're coated. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm just saying you can still tell. The elixirs are exactly as terrible as I remember them for a couple of reasons. One, they feel like they've been spray painted with something. They have such a thick coating on them. And I know you're going to say polyweb versus nanoweb, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've tried them both. They're terrible. They feel like the string has a plastic sheet over them. They're horrendous. As soon as I put it on the guitar and started playing it, I was like, oh my God, this sucks. I hate these things. I know a lot of people really like them, and I know that that's a thing that they like. Personally, I cannot stand it. I want the guitar to feel like a natural, normal guitar string. Elixirs are the worst for this. Elixirs were also the worst for tuning stability when you put the strings on the guitar. I had to fiddle with them the most to keep the guitar in tune. The D'Addarios were great. You put them on, you just stretched them once, tuned them up, they were fine. The elixirs you had to fight with a bit. The other thing I noticed when I put the elixirs on the guitar is it actually, you know when you change gauges of strings and you can see the neck relief change a little bit? They were higher tension than the other sets, and so I could feel the guitar change. The guitar actually changed. The action, not the action, but the neck relief on the guitar actually changed. I could feel it. So I don't like that at all. Elixirs, I'm out. I will never, unless they come up with something new, I will never use them on anything. Okay, the String Joys, which is what's on here now. They are the most natural feeling. The D'Addarios are better than the elixirs, but the String Joys are the most natural feeling. They just feel like regular guitar strings. I had regular guitar strings on this guitar that weren't coated. I put the String Joys on this guitar last night and kind of felt the switch for, back to back with non-coated versus coated strings from String Joy, and they feel the most natural. They just play like, you can kind of tell sometimes in some certain situations, but they don't feel like elixirs at all. They feel like just guitar strings. As far as tuning stability, I just put them on the guitar, stretched them and tuned them, and they're fine. This guitar, same thing. Although this guitar is not very susceptible to tuning issues, which is really cool. But if the strings are wacky, this guitar really shows it because the guitar itself doesn't move. So when the strings move, you really, really know. I put this set on last night. I let it sit overnight. I picked it up this morning, perfectly in tune. Didn't settle overnight or anything like that. So super, super stable. As far as this guitar goes, I've only had them on there a few minutes, but they feel great. Now, tone-wise, that's obviously relative. Tone-wise, these are my favorite. Then the D'Addarios, probably 6 of one, half a dozen the other as far as tone goes. Way better than the elixirs, in my opinion. Of course, that part is an opinion. But tuning stability and all that, String Joys are awesome. And I'm going to leave both of them on both guitars for a while, and probably in a live stream give you an update about the long term, how long they last, because that's the only way you can test it. And again, it's going to be different for you. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to reviews. I did not get any of this stuff for free. Even though I know the guys at String Joy, I actually went to the website without telling them, ordered them, paid the money, bought the strings myself, went to a local guitar store, bought the other strings myself. Now that being said, I will leave links to all of the strings below. We do get affiliate commissions on most of the links that we share down below, but that's for all the strings, not one over the other. So get that whole "you were paid to do this video" thing out of your mind, because that has zero to do with it. I just wanted to try them because they were new. And honestly, the String Joys are going to be the one that stay on my guitar for a couple reasons. One, because I love the fact that they're handmade in Nashville by real people that we know, that we've been there and we've seen the stuff. So having a connection with a brand is very, very cool. The quality of the product itself is fantastic. The service from the company is fantastic. But if you were going to go big box guitar store, big box guitar strings, my opinion, the D'Addarios over the Elixirs. But that's just an opinion. Let me know what you think and what you've tried in the past in the comments. Try these String Joys out and let me know in the comments later what you think. And then we will do an update in a live stream coming up very soon. Thanks for hanging out. This has been super fun, man. I love acoustic guitars. Many of you may not know that even though I make pickups for a living and that I do all this electric guitar stuff, these two guitars are my favorite. Kind of weird, but it's true. And they're the ones that I pick up and play the most. So acoustic guitars are fun. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon. Oh yeah, subscribe, hit the bell, do the stuff. We got news coming out on Wednesday. We got a live stream coming out on Thursday. Make sure you do that too. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon.